This is the plaintiff, Goncalves. She says she cleaned the defendant's apartment, and the lady inspector at work paid her and she left. Next thing she knows, the defendant posted a picture of her on Facebook community post, saying she was looking for her, and she got hundreds of nasty comments because of it. She's suing for $5,000 for defamation of character. This is the defendant, Cheryl Milnichak. She says the woman did a horrible job cleaning her condo. And when she got home, she went onto Facebook, where she found her and asked the woman to call her because she wasn't returning her calls. She didn't defame this woman in any way, and if anyone's owed money today, it's not the plaintiff. She's accused of a Facebook faux pas. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $150 for the return of the cleaning fees.
All parties, please raise your right hand. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Leon is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Goncalves, you are suing Ms. Milnichak for $5,000 for defamation of character because she posted some negative things about you on a Facebook page. Tell me what happened.
Yes, I am suing her for defamation. I had posted on a Facebook group that I was available to do cleaning. She commented under saying, that she needed her house cleaned. So from there we spoke and I got her address. So when I arrived to the apartment, her daughter, instead of her, was there, showed me the apartment, which that was totally fine. That's what I do when I first get to someone's house, see the apartment.
Hold on one second. So the agreement was that you would be paid how much to clean and the apartment was empty, right, Ms. Milnichak?
Correct.
So what time do you get there to clean?
At 6.
At 6, okay. And how many bedrooms is the apartment?
If I am not mistaken, I believe it was 2.
Okay. And
2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom.
How long does it take you to clean?
Around 2 hours, roughly.
Okay. And you were going to be paid, or you got paid $150 for that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, Ms. Milnichak, you then get there at the end. You're the one who pays her, right?
Yes.
Did you go in and take a look at the job before you paid her?
I didn't.
Okay, she's sitting on the front stoop of, I know, so she's sitting waiting out there. She's right there. And you don't walk in to see how the job was?
No, I didn't.
That's not very smart, right?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so you pay her first and then you go in and see the job. And according to you, what's the problem?
There was nothing done. There was still a lot of things on the floor.
What was on the floor?
Little specks that should have been cleaned.
Dirt?
Dirt. There was grit all over the countertops in the kitchen. I went immediately into the bathroom downstairs first, and there was hairs still in the sink. The toilet wasn't even clean. Inside there was a ring. You could see.
No, I can't see, because do you have any pictures?
I don't.
Right. No. I could see if you had pictures. I could see how horrible everything was. But go on.
Nothing, literally, I can honestly say, nothing was wiped.
Ms. Goncalves, how long have you been in this business? Because you look really young to me. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 26.
26.
I just look very young, yes.
And how long have you been doing this business, this cleaning business?
For about 5 to 6 years, ma'am.
Okay. You've just heard Ms. Milnichak talk about the miserable job she feels you did, and she was very specific about hairs here and dirt there. And what is your response to that?
So as a cleaning lady, I always take a helper with me, so I can inspect the helper's work, and she can also inspect my job as well. Of course, when 2 people work together, the better it is. So I left my helper with the bathrooms. And right after she finished, she even asked, "Is it good?" I went over, I inspected, and everything was really great. So,
do you have pictures of your work? Do you take pictures after you finish cleaning?
Well, I do take pictures after I finish cleaning.
May I see the pictures?
Of her home, I didn't, just because it was very late and I actually had another job to do right after, so I didn't even think about it. Although I did upload pictures of my past jobs.
No, I'm not
before and
interested in your
after.
past jobs. You're not being, you're mad because someone criticized this job. You, as a contractor, as a vendor of services, should be taking pictures as a matter of course in every single job you do. You should do that because you may get a complaint later. So you want to be able to take video and pictures, which takes 5 seconds. That's, there's no excuse for that. And there's 2 of you who could have done that. And you, of course, Ms. Milnicek, if you're going to be asking for money back, you have to think that that may be contested. And so you have to document the reason why you're asking for your money back. Now, she apparently tries reaching you that night, Ms. Goncalves, and she can't reach you. And then she posts on the site, "We are looking for this house cleaner whom I paid $150 to for a move-in cleaning, and she did absolutely nothing. Everything was as dirty as it was, and to make matters worse, she is not answering her phone. She needs to either refund me or go back and do what she was paid to do. It wasn't difficult, seeing as it's still vacant. I am posting her picture here also because I see she had advertised her services here a month ago. Hopefully this doesn't happen to someone else." So she puts this post up, and how do you hear about it, Ms. Goncalves?
So I heard about it, Miss Judge, very early in the morning. My parents started to call me. People from my church started to call me. Like every single person started to call me. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, did you see your Facebook? And I was like, no, because it was very early. And when I checked, there was over 200.
Can you prove what you're saying? 200 posts about it?
So one of the posts that she had posted, it's 95 comments.
Okay.
The other one's 116.
But are the 95 comments negative?
Yes.
Some of it's against her, telling her it's her own fault for paying somebody before checking the work. But in any event, you then call her and you talk to her, and she offers you either return my money or come back and clean it. And what do you pick, Ms. Goncalves?
To return her money.
And how much money were you going to return? Was it 150 or more than that?
The 150.
Okay. Why did you say you were going to return 200?
I decided a little bit more just, so she can take the post down for me.
So did she say, I'll take 200 from you, or she just said, return my 150?
Just return the 150.
Oh, so you decided in your head to make it 200, but then you decided in your head to make it 0. You had a plan to meet her. According to you, Ms. Milnicek, she had a plan to meet you at the apartment at 12. And what happened at 12?
She didn't show. 12 o'clock came. I tried calling her, and then no answer. And then around 12:30 or so, she called me back. And that's when she told me she decided not to give me the money.
And that she was going to sue you?
Yes.
All right. So, Ms. Goncalves, tell me how she defamed you. By saying that you didn't do a good job and that she's calling you and you're not answering? Because those two things are her opinion, and she does have a First Amendment right to free speech. So she can write a review that is not good for you if she feels the job was not good at her apartment. So what did she do to defame you?
For posting, I believe she did defame me by posting my pictures. Also,
but your picture, she got your picture because your picture was posted already. She didn't post a picture of you doing something bad. It was just your picture because she was trying to get you to answer the phone. So how did she defame you by posting a picture that you made public on the internet anyway? How is that defaming you?
I believe that is defaming me because she is speaking bad about me. I mean,
yeah, that's a risk we run when we put ourselves out there. But it's not like she's calling you a pill-popping cokehead that she has no evidence of. What she says is, I hired her to do a job, and she did a really bad job, and she's not answering her phone. So if someone knows how to reach her, tell me, because I paid her $150 and she didn't do anything, right? That's what she says. And then the next text that she writes, because you also are claiming defamation based on the second one, which is the follow-up, says this. Update on my post about so-called cleaning woman. She contacted me yesterday saying she was sorry, but chose to refund me my money instead of going back and cleaning. She begged me to take the post down. I said I would take them down and try to resolve this matter, tried to put the blame on her partner, full of excuses. She tried to turn this situation around and make it my fault. Told her I would see her in small claims court. Okay, what what is defamatory, other than the fact that it's negative about you, if this is truthful, this is her perspective and truthful as she sees it, she's relating the facts and telling everybody don't use her, why is she not allowed to do that? I mean, in other words, you can get a negative review as a business on the internet, holding yourself out as someone who does a job. People can post negative reviews. They can't lie about your work. They can't, but they can post negative reviews. I would love for you to show me pictures of how it was impeccable, and she maliciously said that because she was trying to squeeze you out of your money. But you're not showing me that. So in any event, Ms. Goncalves, I do not find that you have proven a case to me for defamation of character. I see a lot of these posts, and it is a balancing act between if someone's defaming you and if someone is writing a bad review of you, and they have a right to freedom of speech. Her opinion is that you took the money and you didn't do the job. You whisked through there too quickly. You're moving on to the next job. According to her, you got there at 7, not at 6. According to her, you spent virtually no time there. And according to you, Ms. Milnicek, I don't understand why, if you know she spent virtually no time there, you wouldn't walk inside and then bring her and her partner back in and tell them what needs doing here and redoing. I mean, it's classic. She's standing right there, 6 inches away from the spot you have to inspect. It's not as though you're in some different site and it's inconvenient to check her work. She's right there. I just don't get it. But in any event, that's how you handled it, and I'm sure you will never handle it that way again. And now you have a counterclaim against her, and your counterclaim is for the return of the $150 because according to you, she did a terrible job. Now, prove that, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if I tell her you don't have proof of, the things you're saying, I'm looking at you now on your counterclaim, and you tell me where's the proof of what you're saying? Not a single picture of anything that you're complaining about. So how do you prove you're entitled to the $150 back? By the fact that she offered it to you? That doesn't prove it, because the fact that she offered it to you could just be that she's freaking out over all the negative comments. Okay.
I don't, Your Honor.
Yeah, so 0 on the plaintiff's claim and 0 on the defendant's claim. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, we have a 0-0 tie between the plaintiff and the defendant in this case, a case that really rested on having pictures. It would have been a big help. Ms. Goncalves, let me ask you first. Number one, has this lady, have the comments really hurt your business now that it's been a while since this happened?
Yes, it hurt my business because I have not had any cleanings done. Nobody has called me to do cleanings because they went with what she said on the Facebook comments, and I decided anything before court date not to post any comments.
So in effect, she kind of put you out of business then, didn't she?
Yes.
Wow. Good luck to you. All right. Well, Ms. Milnicek, having heard her comments, you in effect really put her out of business. Do you feel sorry about that at all?
No, I don't believe I put her out of business. I really and truly learned a great lesson here. Not to hand over money before I inspect the work, and not to trust so easily.
Okay. Well, I think everybody learned a lesson here. What do you think, Harvey?
So, here's the thing. To defame somebody, there has to be a clear statement that would subject them to scorn and ridicule. You give somebody a negative review, that's a very subjective thing, and generally, it's just not defamation.
If a person is in prison but has been ordered to pay child support, how are they to pay it when they get out, when they don't have a job?
No question, it's probably harder to find a job right when you get out of prison, and maybe your options are a little more limited than a lot of other folks. But your obligation to support the children that you chose to bring into the world doesn't just go away. It's still there until they reach the age of majority. So that obligation is going to be there, and there may be arrearages from the time that the person was incarcerated. So the reality is, this could ultimately end up in front of a judge. And in that courtroom, the judge is going to have to determine whether the person is trying to find a job, whether there's a willful failure to pay. Some judges will have you keep a log of
your efforts to find a job,
including copies of all the applications, how many places you went to day by day, names, addresses of businesses, etc. So
I'm kind of curious, like you have to check your own state for this, but like whether you pay arrearages. What if you're in prison for 10 years? You pay. Do you have 10 years worth of arrearages because that child's needs didn't cease to exist while you went to prison for armed robbery?
Someone
or
had
whatever
to pay them for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean those arrearages, as I understand it, they're
technically they could be there, and someone. I mean, most people
you pay
don't.
a little bit at a time.
Yeah, do your best.
Right.
Forever.
And some judges are tougher than others on these issues, but I've had lots and lots of hearings on enforcement of child support. I can remember one where we had a former NFL player who earned at least $60 million in his playing career, maybe 65, 70 million, but he had complicated lifestyle, and
a big bar tab.
Oh yeah, that's correct. That's correct. You reminded me of that. In this particular case, he came in and said, "I can't pay. I can't afford it." And the mother of the child, her lawyer demonstrated that he had paid a bar tab on South Beach for like $28,000.
Correct.
On a Saturday at the hotel in the last 30 days. So that kind of hurt him.
Did you take him into custody?
I ordered him to surrender. I gave him he asked for a week. He said, "Judge, can I get a week?" And I said, "Yeah, just be here next Monday at 9 a.m. to come into custody and serve the time that I've given you." I can't remember what it was.
For contempt.
For contempt.
And then, of course, he came up with the money in between that time.
He always did. It happened more than once.
Yeah.
But and this guy was the most likable, pleasant person. One of the nicest people I ever had in my courtroom.
And no, we're not going to tell you who it is.
No.